Please
Miss
note,
Karen
this
should be
session
calling
is
us
being
from London
recorded.
at about 6:30, and we're going to let her have a little time to report. And let me just mention ahead of time that um, her father and mother are in absolute quarantine because of their at risk, and her father is sick. So I understand, even as early as just about 20 minutes ago, that she's pretty shook up about the fact that her father is really ill. Um, so tonight we're planning to bring some of our international partners in. Before that happens, I'd like to speak with you a bit locally about some of the things that are taking place here and just challenge you with me, along with myself, to try to handle this thing more perfectly, more better. Uh, you all have heard of the big Timberwolf boy, Carl Anthony Towns. Carl Anthony Towns' mother, bless her heart, has succumbed to COVID-19, COVID 20. Just yesterday, I believe she just passed. Um, the numbers in Minnesota, in Minneapolis and St. Paul, haven't been outrageous the way the numbers are in Louisiana. Uh, and we should have a report tonight from Louisiana because our good brother, um, Herbert Kelly, who got interstate compact just 2 days, 4 days ago, went down to Monday. He went down Monday last. He went to Louisiana. So he's going to call in, or he should be getting on soon to give us that update. And Wayne, you got him the information, didn't you? No. Huh? The number I just shared with you? That's Herbert Kelly. So we're trying to pull some people in. Matter of fact, why don't you call him, Wayne, right now to make sure he got it? Um, Now, what I want to share with you is, when I come into work here, I have to drive down Broadway. You know how Broadway is. You guys are all familiar with it. But them guys on Broadway acting like there's no virus, and it's when you're drinking heavy, um, you the virus. You know what I mean? And you you putting the virus in intentionally. But I know my wife came home last night after she had come home from work, and she was so distressed that the guys up and down West Broadway don't appear to have changed anything. They just kind of hanging out, and even thicker up in the Broadway Lindale area with serious shootings going on here just a couple of nights ago, right around by Pop One, and um, and I think to a certain extent here in Minneapolis and Twin Cities, we just don't get it. We don't really believe that this thing is for real. And I'm going to own my own part of it. Um, I have the mask, the N95 mask that everybody talks about. I have that, but I haven't been wearing it. And when I go out, I haven't been wearing the mask. I don't know if it's my vanity, or am I just not nearly as smart as I thought I was, or if I just am waiting for it to hit closer, or I don't know what it is, but I know that I haven't worn them. I got the mask in the trunk. Now, what kind of help is the mask going to give me in the trunk? You know what I mean? And so in some places like London, though, where there's over 2,000 deaths in a very small and concentrated area, they get it. They getting it. In Louisiana, they're getting it. Um, Herbert, are you on? Yeah, he's not on yet, but Wayne is trying to help him get on and talk him through the rudiments of getting on. And so I just want us to talk amongst ourselves about, are we really Pop guys, are we really serious about this virus, or are we just pretenders? I have to admit, I think I have this. I mean, no, I'm a pretender. I just been a pretender, man. I haven't been being protective of myself the way I need to or the way I should. I don't know about you, but I'm just going to open the conversation up a bit and hear from y'all. Hear from Eric and hear from Tony and hear from Brad. Go ahead, Eric.
Well, man, I don't know. You know, I'm taking it serious. I believe it's serious. And then I was just telling my wife, man, I need some masks, you know, because I don't know if it's me, but when I step out previously and come back in, I be feeling some sort of way. And I think, because, you know, I had asthma. I suffered from asthma when I was young, bad. I was in the hospital every year.
Wow.
So I grew out of asthma. But when my lungs feel some sort of way, I'm already hip to that. And I be having, it's just, you know, I'm not breathing hard or nothing, but I could feel how it used to feel.
Right.
And I hope I'm just not tricking myself in the head because of what's going on. But my breathing is my breathing, and I pay a close attention to it because I always had to.
Right.
But you know, and then next week they're calling me back to work.
Right.
I ain't been playing outside. I'm gonna tell you right now. I go out very short periods of time.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to be ready, though. I want to at least have that mask. I want to be ready when I go, because if I feel sick, I'm one of them people that are quarantined myself.
That's good.
Oh, yeah.
Man, and I appreciate that. And the N95 masks, they do now have them available at, you know, Menards and the local places. For a while, you couldn't find one. And then they're making them. Donald Amos's wife, Sylvia, she's making some masks, and they're really nice. And here, I bought 5 from her on Saturday. I still haven't worn one. So it's something about me. I don't know. I just have to admit that I'm being arrogant or foolish, or I don't know what it is. But I need to bump up my game. But Tony, what are you doing to protect yourself against the virus? You got people down in Chicago. You should know that this thing is dangerous. What you doing?
Just some gloves and
man, that's them O.J. Simpson gloves, man. Throw them things away.
They don't fit. They don't fit.
Yeah, put them away, man, before you get a case. Well, are you wearing a mask or what's happening? No, hit that mute button. You're on mute. No, I can't hear you, but you got to hit that little mute button at the top of your computer on your board. Are you on a laptop? Just shake your head. You should have some little microphone dots at the top right. Uh-huh. So keep messing with it. We're gonna bring you back in. Bradley, what's happening, man?
How are you doing? I'm doing well.
Brad, are you being safe or what's happening?
Well, yes. I fortunately have a gentleman who lives in the building that's a biologist that supplies me with all of the spray and the masks.
Uh-huh.
So I have one in my car, not in the trunk. I wear it when I'm out. I spray it when I come in. So I am doing it. I'm, you know, at 60 years old, I'll be 61, by the way, on Thursday.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. Let's give Bradley a little hand. Give him a hand. Happy birthday.
Thanks. So yes, I am.
Yeah, I'm about ready to hire you to clean my cabinet out like you did yours, man.
I'm telling you, dude. And I had a pleasant surprise. I've got a daughter who came over with an Easter basket in her mask on Easter morning.
Oh, man. Oh, you got a visit. You got a visit from the Easter Bunny.
I did.
Wow.
I did. So yes, I am being safe, and I carry the bottle with me. I've got masks in the car. I'm I too have a little bit of asthma, so, and being 61 on Thursday, I'm not taking any chances.
Right. Well, you know, that is that's good to hear. And I need to take a page out of your book, man, because I can do a lot better than I'm doing, and I'm not setting a good example for my kids. I have masks for my kids, but because I don't wear it, they're not wearing theirs either. Here's my sister on here. Rhea Robinson is on, and over here at the Ascension Place. How you doing over there, sis?
Hi, tech girl.
Oh, hey, what's up? Hey, okay, that's the tech lady. What's up, tech lady?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
No, that microphone is something's going on with that microphone. We're having the same trouble. You're in and out. Okay, I think it's the internet connection that's breaking up, this and that. But listen, before we go back to my sister.
I feel so left out in this meeting, man.
And anybody else, who is that?
It's DeAndre Robinson. Y'all ain't said hi to me or nothing, man. Just got me sitting up here like that, man. Got my feelings hurt. I'm just messing with y'all, man.
No. We get ready to pop you upside that. No, just kidding, man. How you doing?
I'm all right, bro.
Who else is on there that's not saying anything?
They should hear you now. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, sweetheart. But right now, we on DeAndre now, so hold up. DeAndre, how you doing? Give us a report.
Oh man, that's okay, man. I'm doing the quarantine thing for real. I ain't shaved. I ain't did nothing. Same clothes on. I ain't did nothing. I'm just sitting back. My room is lived in. That's how I'm doing it, man.
Oh wow.
But I don't wear no mask because them things make me feel so uncomfortable because I have breathing difficulties.
But
so that's why I don't wear them.
You're staying in the house though, right?
Yes, I am. I'm staying in.
Well, you know, son, get your behind in the bathtub now. Come on now.
I am. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get in there, man. I'm gonna get in there.
You know, act like fat meat is still breathing. Will done checked in, and Big Banky say he ain't bathing, he ain't shaving, he ain't doing nothing. He's quarantined. Hey, listen. DeAndre.
I hear you.
I'm gonna tell you what my mom used to say. Said, "Boy, put some water with it." So listen, man. But I'm glad to hear your voice, and we love you and appreciate hearing you. Will, it's good to see you. We just got a few more minutes before we're going to try to bring Miss Elizabeth on. Is she online already? We're trying to bring Miss Elizabeth on at 6 p.m. Our time from South Africa. So we're trying to, and we want to get a report from her about the COVID-19 down in the Cape Town area. We also have, hopefully, Tierra's wife coming on, fiance, but in London to give us a report from there. But what we're talking about right now is how we've been safe or not. So, Will, what about you? Have you guys been wearing a mask, or are you being safe, or what's happening?
Wearing a mask, man. Actually, I went to the store yesterday, a couple stores, trying to,
getting a report from South Africa, Cape Town.
Down to our last two, man, and
she's trying to call in.
A lot of wear and tear on them.
Yeah, gonna give a report on the COVID-19.
They can't seem to keep them on the shelf.
And another one.
They can't seem to keep them on the shelves.
Yeah, no, it's hard. Larry, you gotta keep the background noise down because we can hear all of that.
Down there from South Africa.
Larry.
Yeah, they got it.
Larry.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, you got to keep the background noise down, son, because we can hear all that.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to my quiet zone. Okay, here I go.
What? I got a mask, and Donald Amos's wife Sylvia is making masks, and they $5 a piece, and got a little design to them. They're really made nice. So give Donald a call, and You know, I just picked up 5 of them, and like I say, I got all these masks. I'm not wearing. You know what I mean?
I'm wearing mine, you know. I mean, I got an old one. I'm wearing it, man. But you know,
Good.
I don't know how effective it is at this point. You know what I
Right,
mean? But I'm wearing it.
right. So today we're gonna spend. Tony, are you on now? Yeah. No, still can't hear you, brother. Rhea, are you on now? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Okay.
you, brother.
So what's happening? Are y'all being safe over there at Ascension Place?
Oh, definitely. They got it going on. They got people made homemade hand sanitizer. And they got the cloth masks that people made. Everybody got one. And, you got to do the 6 feet from each other. And
Hmm.
they're giving us paper plates and cups. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they got the whole thing going on.
Got the
It's
whole
it,
thing.
it,
But it's,
it it's definitely going on over here.
well, I got you. That's a good report. And you know what we ended up having to do is we have
Okay.
one man coming home from prison to the Pop House on Monday. His name is Lewis Williams. Some of y'all know Lewis. That's Penn Standifir's son. He's coming in on Monday, and Tierra's going to be picking him up from Faribault. But what we're going to do is we're going to give him a thermometer test. You know, I mean, if your temperature's over 101, you know, we can't take you. You know what I mean? Because and we don't have the ability to do what, say, you guys are doing there at Ascension, Rhea, but we do have to do something to protect the other men. So,
Yeah, well, the staff they take their temperatures when they come in.
oh, good. Something, Eric, something about this, your temperature, grab that. That's probably Ananias. Something about the temperature being over 100 is a sign, some kind of a symptom that needs to be paid attention to. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Uh-huh. So I know we got DeAndre on and Eric, Willie, Tony is on, but we can't hear him.
Can
Um,
you hear me now?
oh, here he listen,
Uh-oh.
there he is. What's up?
Oh well.
Okay, well,
Um,
talk about it. Have you been being safe? Tell the truth.
yeah, I truly have. I've been wearing a mask. I've been wearing gloves. I've been extremely precautious
Right,
with myself.
right.
Um, I got good news.
What's the good news?
My job from demolition service called me back.
Right.
So I talked to them today. I went and I went and redid the application. I'll be going up to the office tomorrow to do all my paperwork. So the way things is looking, I'll be getting my old job back. And I got a text from a realtor that's got a 2-bedroom house in St. Paul.
Right.
So I got that going. And second off, I got the worst news ever from this establishment. I spoke with one of the maintenance workers and requested some help, and he told me that he got a direct order to not help me with nothing.
Okay.
And I said, wow, this gentleman is taking it very personal
Right.
with me in this establishment.
Right.
But I'm going to be out of his hair in a minute. I
Okay.
got something for him.
Okay.
So I'm
Well,
making my move.
good, good, good. So you know, and then we could talk about that some more offline. But what we got to do right here, we want to stay on this topic tonight. We're going to mess around with this COVID-19 thing. And Anaya just came in the door, and we was trying to get him online as well. And we're going to go to the acts of faith for today. And so let me read that right now, and then um, are you on yet? Okay, I'm gonna let Ananiah read the acts of faith for me if you don't mind. And the video's queued up. Okay. Um, go ahead, son, whenever you're ready.
The truth. Excuse me, no. April 14th. You must act.
Do y'all hear him? Do y'all hear Ananiah? Okay, go.
excuse me, April 14th,
Mm-hmm.
I must act
Yes, sir.
as if it is impossible to fail.
Mm-hmm.
Ashanti proverb.
Yeah.
The
The
truth
truth
is
is
that
that
I
I
start
start
from
from
a
a position
of
of
success.
success.
No matter.
No
No
matter
matter
what
what
happens,
happens,
no
no
matter
matter
what the
what the
appearance,
appearance,
I
I
am
am
always
always
successful.
successful.
The
The
truth
truth
is
is
that
that
I
I
have
have
lessons
lessons
learned
learned
through
through
my
my
experience.
experience.
What
What
appears
appears
as
as
a
a
failure
failure
is
is
simply
simply
a
a
stepping
stepping
stone
stone
to
to
realize
realize
We
success.
hear
success.
echo, Pops.
Huh?
We hear echo. We hear
Okay.
echo.
Wayne, can you control that record? Go ahead. I think it's reverberating because he's right here reading.
Okay.
So turn your mic down a little bit, Ananias.
Yeah.
I'm not even in.
Okay. Sherrod, what's up, son?
The truth
How
is
everybody
that
doing?
I cannot do anything.
Yeah.
Excuse me. The truth is that I can do anything I focus
Right.
my mind to do.
Mm-hmm.
What looks like failure teaches me what not to do,
Mm-hmm.
what does not work. It sends me back to the drawing board. It forces me to refocus and redo.
Yeah.
All circumstances in the physical world are subject to change.
Hmm.
The truth, however, is consistent. It never changes.
Mm-hmm.
The truth is that as long as I am breathing,
Mm.
I am one with God.
Wow.
God never fails.
Mm.
My job is to act like I know.
Yes, sir.
Victory is the stuff I'm made of.
That's
Acts
so
of faith.
powerful. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Miss Karen, we got Miss Karen on from London. We see you there, sweetheart. And Tierra and King Mason just walked in the door. Um, so so let me set this up a bit, and then we're going to go to Karen. I tell you what, I don't want you to be frightened by what I'm going to share with you, but I just don't want you to be ignorant, right? Now, the truth of the matter is, a lot of what we're seeing and hearing around the world is very prophetic, and in some ways has been prophesied about, predicted, uh, and for whatever reason, here we are. You remember I shared with you some weeks back a video by Dr. Muhammad, who up until that time had the clearest explanation on the COVID-19 virus, and he made some connection to Wuhan and 5G technology.
Your attention is required.
I wonder if that is that Elizabeth?
No, that was my computer.
Oh, okay. She sounds so nice. She sounded like let's hear her again. No, just kidding, just kidding. Okay. So let me try to set this up. And so that man's presentation, it really got under my skin, and which is why I shared it with you, because his theology was that COVID is a virus that has existed for a long time. As a matter of fact, he didn't say this, but I found this out on my own. The COVID virus is actually owned, it has a patent, and is owned by an American pharmaceutical company. Now, you don't have to believe my face, do your own research, but ask your Siri or Google, is the COVID virus owned by does someone have a patent on the COVID virus? And they'll come back and tell you who has the patent, when it was certified. So, in other words, the COVID virus has been around a long time. On the backs of some of your aerosol cans, Lysol and other things, you will see it say this protects against COVID. So it has already pre-existed. However, this strand, as Dr. Muhammad indicated, this strand of COVID has something else attached to it that is causing it not just to cause flu-like symptoms, but to in some cases be fatal. And he associated this really bothered my thinking, maybe it did you. He associated it with the advent of 5G technology. And that really, I really was struggling to put those two things together. I couldn't really, I couldn't make sense of it. And so we stumbled on another video. I mean, take it for what it's worth. We're not going to play you the whole thing, but I just want to give you a bit of it that in some ways speaks to this 5G technology and how in areas where the 5G technology has been manufactured, that the death toll in those areas are supersaturated.
Okay.
Okay, so the first 5G network was turned on in Wuhan. And right after that, the virus became very deadly, and we saw what happened. The second tower was turned on in Italy and Spain. Right after that, Italy was under severe attack. I think the third tower was turned on in London. And, you know, London has had its share of challenges where this virus is concerned. I cannot state to you emphatically that this is what is going on. I'm just sharing with you that I do believe something more than what we're being told, something more than what we're being taught to, or made to understand is at foot here. And I want to play this short, this is a long video, but I'm going to play maybe 10 minutes of it. Coming out of that, then you're going to hear from Sister Karen, who's already online. Hey, sweetheart.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone.
Can you go with the video? Say hi to Karen, y'all.
Hi,
Hey,
Karen.
Karen.
Hi, Karen.
Hi.
Sister.
Love, you got up here? Right. Is it playing? I see it, but no sound. Do y'all hear the sound?
Very little.
Very little. All right. Get your songs on. Wait, can you turn it up any?
Karen.
That video.
Can't hear it.
You can't hear anything?
No.
Karen, can you hear?
No, very, very, very faint.
Okay. Wayne, we're gonna cut it off. Well, okay, we'll cut away from it because I just don't want to waste your time. But
Can we get the link?
what this guy is suggesting, what he's suggesting is that somehow the deadly nature of the virus, of this particular virus, and the advent of 5G, take the echo out, Wayne. The advent of the 5G is causing a type of radiation, like a microwave. Let me see it. You understand a microwave, right?
Mm-hmm.
You understand a radio wave.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you understand a microwave. Well, 5G is a super saturated microwave that reverberates through the air, and it's so fast that it's radioactive.
Wow.
And that the radioactive nature of this wave attacks the immune system. This is what that video was going to express to you. And that this is why our elderly are seemingly so much more vulnerable, because their bodies are now unable to fight off the impending reaction to radio waves, to radiation. And so that radiation, I mean, we're exposed to it even when you have a microwave. Radiation is flowing in your house, but it's not enough radiation to hurt you necessarily. But the truth of the matter is, this is generating so much radiation, 5G, because it's so fast, it's so quick that literally some bodies cannot deal with the poison that radiation causes, and that the poison in the body is creating what looks like a flu-like symptom.
Okay.
It turned on first in Wuhan, and this is where you saw some people just falling out in the street, right? And this is where the waves at first hit, right? And so you have to understand that this video went on to explain the connection between radio waves and pandemics over in past times, where we would be told that we had the swine flu or something like that. But what was also being interjected were different kinds of waves into the atmosphere. I'm just giving you something to think about with me. I'm right here with you. I don't have any more information than you do, but I do read, study, and search for information that would give me some kind of answer deeper than what they're giving me on CNN or on the evening news, or what the leadership of our nation is able to provide.
Right.
And so later in that video, this guy would then lay out and explain that in order for this new technology to take place, and here's how my wife describes it. She's saying that.
What's up?
Who's that?
You know who it is.
That's Isaac Brown from out of town. Okay, hold up. Watch this though. He's suggesting that these waves are so powerful, right, that they're able to create a poison in the body, and that the body can't manage it. So it's all about the immune system. To the extent that your immune system is strong enough to handle the frequency of that attack, which you can't see or feel, is to that extent that you would be all right or not. That's the suggestion. And for me, I'm just going to be honest with you, that philosophy is making more sense to me than what I am being told on the evening news, right? We have that video. If you ever want to see it, I can have Wayne to email it to you individually, but so that you can see the whole thing. It's really a powerful video. And anybody that wants to see it, just say with Wayne that they want to see it. But now that we have our sister on in London, I would like for Karen to just come in and sister, just share from your heart with our men and women here in Minneapolis who love you, by the way, and are concerned about you and your family. Share with us what you see taking place there in London.
Yeah, it's very surreal here. We're going up roughly about 1,500 deaths per day. The majority of that is
Stop, because I don't think we really heard that. I just want you to go back and tell us how many deaths per day.
roughly about 1,500. So we're on 12,000, nearly 13,000 deaths in England over the last few weeks. And I would say 70% of that is concentrated in London. And what's scary about that, it's kind of, we're getting a lot of mixed messages in terms of how to kind of like conduct ourselves, what to do and what not to do. And it's affecting a range of ages. So first it was supposed to be older people, then it was people with underlying conditions. But the youngest person to die from it here has been a 13-year-old boy with no underlying conditions whatsoever.
Right.
So it has no rhyme or reason. Unfortunately, we lost a family friend. He passed away from it. He was in his late 70s, my dad's friend. And it really is kind of like we're just getting to the peak now. So we are on serious lockdown, so we can only leave the house just to kind of like get basics. Everyone's kind of working from home. Our economy has been completely crippled. And they were saying in the last week there's been over 2 million worth of what we call benefits handed out because people have just lost their jobs, they're unemployed. So it's a very, very strange situation in London at the moment. Very, very strange, for sure. And they're saying that we could be locked down for for a total of 6 months. So we're not sure when this is going to kind of lift and when life is going to get back to normal, if indeed it is going to get back to normal. So we're just having to sit this one out and see what happens.
Right. I hope you all are hearing this, and I'm so grateful, Karen, for that report.
Sure.
The whole idea of what normal is on the other side of COVID-20 is, I think, in question for all of us, because what's happening for you guys right now in London is also happening in New York.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's worse enough, but that's only because of the size, our land mass, and the amount of people that we have in the country. It's not even as it's not the same size as New York. But in terms of how stuff is spreading, and London being an international city, it's a massive epicenter, and it's just we've had to convert. We've had to build 2 new hospitals. We've had to convert what used to be we call it a health centre. It's like a conference centre into a hospital. They're calling old people out of retirement to come back to work in the healthcare service. They're asking people to volunteer. All the hospitals have been turned into COVID-19 wards, so they're completely overstretched. And what's very sad is that our health services, is free, but it's been underfunded for the last 10 years. So the doctors and nurses don't have the right equipment to kind of help people, and we're having to call in favors in terms of ventilators and PPE and everything. So what you're seeing now is England, which is classified as a first world country, is actually crippling in front of us and calling for help from countries that were classified as third world countries. So we're seeing a complete flip and kind of reversal of power at the moment, which is very interesting as well.
So wait a minute, if I'm understanding that correctly, that's a huge point. I just want to touch back on it because I think what you're talking about is frontline workers and essential workers, which are often minority workers and minority employees who have been kicked to the curb or forced into retirement, or these other kinds of things, are being asked to come back and take on these frontline responsibilities for some of the victims. Is that what you're saying?
100%. And the biggest group that's been affected is like my parents' generation. So my parents came to England from the Caribbean. My mum used to be a nurse. They were called the Windrush generation. So anyone from, I would say, 50 to 80. Most of them have gone back home, but a large proportion of them are still there here. But 2 years ago, there was legislation cast against that particular group to get them deported from England. So it's
Wow.
been a big kind of we've been up and arms trying to get some kind of justice for this group. They were illegally deported. Most of them had been here since they were 19 and 20. They've been deported. They're now calling for the people that they deported. They sent back to Jamaica, they sent back to Barbados to come back over
Oh my
and
God.
help in this situation.
My God.
So it's a crazy set of affairs.
My God. You know, that is crazy. And that's, you know, it's so hurtful to hear that. And now we're experiencing that here, of course, under the presidential leadership that we currently have, especially with our Hispanic community, but also with our African immigrant, as well as some from the certain parts of the Middle East have been experiencing that same theology. I want you all to ask Karen a question. If you have a question for her, Karen, would you mind taking a couple questions?
Oh, that's fine, no problem.
If you have a question for Karen, just go ahead and ask it.
Hey, Karen, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
This is Willie, and happy to see you and see you well.
Thank
And
you.
and you look like you hiding. You bunkered down in there, so that's cool. And you know, um, the other day on the news, they said that 8 doctors from the UK who volunteered had died, and all of them were immigrants.
Yeah, yeah.
And the article also said, I don't, who's that noise? Nutricell. Okay, and the article also said that many of the health workers that rushed to volunteer were immigrants.
Wow.
That disproportionately so.
Wow. Hey, Will, that's you know, that I'm impressed with your you know, with reading different articles like that and being staying up on this situation. It's really hurtful that, you know, all of a sudden now, you know, the frontline workers, including professionals,
Yeah.
are suddenly, you know, being asked or begged in some ways to return to work where you, or return to the country where we just kicked you out of.
Right. And I would say the healthcare service is run primarily by immigrants. So you have doctors from different African countries, from India. You have nurses that come over from Europe. I would say that the whole healthcare service is probably 80-90% immigrants. Very few like English-born doctors. And if they are English-born, they're probably second generation like me, so their parents aren't even from here. So
You
it's
know,
a very brown and black.
I had no idea about that, and that's an amazing point. Go ahead, Will.
You know what I found sad about the whole thing is that all these workers had their visas, you know, to be over there and work, and not one has citizenship.
Right.
Right. And
So,
that, yeah.
so even had they lived after all this was done and the visas expired, you know, they would have to go back home unless they got the visas renewed. And it's so sad that the best they could do was offer them visas, and these folks are putting their lives on the line
Right.
for the UK. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah,
amazing, Will.
our current government at the moment has created what we call a hostile environment for anyone that wants to emigrate here. So it's very difficult to get citizenship unless you have something called a grandfather clause, and a grandfather clause goes back to say if you have a grandfather or a great grandfather that can show English heritage, then you can get citizenship. Now that means Australians can get citizenship and people from New Zealand can get citizenship, but
Right.
people from the ex-colonies / Commonwealth can't. So already you have a racialized set of immigration laws that disproportionately kind of like favors white Commonwealth countries and excludes people from India, people from the Caribbean, and people from Africa. So it's a very, very England's racism is very insidious. It's very subtle. It's written into laws to make you feel on the surface that you're part of a society, but you're ostracized in so many different ways. And what this is doing is bringing a lot of this to light that we know because we live it. But for the average English person that doesn't know that this, it's really bringing this to light. It
Wow,
really is.
that's amazing.
Hey, and you know, Pop,
Go ahead, Tony. What you
Pop,
got?
and I posted a film on Barack Obama in 2008. He
Yeah.
told the Congress that we got something catastrophic that's gonna happen 5 years from now. He said, "I see the problem on hand." He told the Congress to let me fix it. Let me fix it. Lo and behold, they didn't honor this brother's vision. And look at the aftermath. It
Yeah.
crashing us.
No, I hear you. That's a good
You
point.
know, like they said in the Wizard of Oz, they said, if I only had a brain, if the system had a brain and listen, this wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Well, we know what something to pray for, but I don't know. Just we're one more political note. Yesterday, former President Obama endorsed Joe Biden, and if you didn't see his speech, his endorsement speech, it's worth watching. His level of intellect is so clearly above that which we have become used to, but not in a mean-spirited way, uh, in a loving way. And I somehow believe that he believes that loving is more powerful than hate. And I am that way too. I believe that way too. And sometimes in spite of myself, there's a part of me that doesn't always want to believe that, but I wrestle with him and try to keep myself feeling like love is the most powerful thing on the face of the earth. And you know what Miss Karen shared is touching me in my heart, because Tierre was just over there and his eyes got opened up to all of the nationalities and people of colors and nationalities from all over the world that was represented there. And quite often we don't realize that we see it in some other kind of way. Who else has a question for Sister Karen? Go ahead. Question or comment?
Isaac.
Go ahead.
Good evening, everybody.
Hey.
My question, not really a question, it's a comment. I look at this whole thing as the world being overpopulated as it is, that this is a form of genocide. This is chemical warfare. And at this time, we all have to be smart about this, because if we don't, we're going to become victim to it. So with the knowledge that we have on what's going on, we just have to use it and get through it. We as a people have been through so much that there's nothing that we can't endure. But this is a thing that we can't just say, well, this doesn't affect us. It only affects these people and those people. So this affected everybody. And this wiping out a lot of people. So, you know, use the education that we can, be wise, definitely take care of our children, because they are our future and they follow us. So what they see us do, that's what they're going to do.
That's a good point. To Isaac's point, I haven't been wearing a mask, and so my kids don't wear one either. But I just got to do better. I need to pray, because I don't know if I'm ashamed of a mask, or I don't know what it is, but I just won't do it. I got the mask right there in the car, Will, but I just won't put it on. But I would just, when I get off this line with y'all, I'm putting that mask on. I think I am. I think I am anyway. You know what I mean?
There you is. You gonna put it on.
No, that's what
you
I'm,
gonna
that's
put
what
it
I'm
on.
talking about.
And I came busting up in here with a mask.
Information.
I thought he was a stick up man. I was gonna give him my chicken wing. That's all I got. I was sorry. He could have got Will's paper money. I don't know. You know, I got. Well, look at Rashad. Rashad is on, and I want to keep this thing about this virus and what it's doing and what's happening because now here in Minnesota, just so you know, there's been about I think the last time I checked, there were 30 deaths. It could be more. Geronimo just tuned in. We're glad to have you on. Geronimo, as a matter of fact, I would like for you to give us an update on some of your family members out on the East Coast. Go ahead.
I got a call from my dad, and he told me that I had a couple family members that passed away from the virus.
Damn.
And that they were put in a trailer. Keep.
Somebody got background noise going on, so we really can't hear good with that. You're picking that up.
And then they send you a gift certificate in your email. My parents have been doing it for years.
Okay,
And I
I
don't
don't
know
know
why
who that is.
like
Maybe
my parents literally
Jerry, is
go
that
to
you there?
every year on their birthday.
It definitely ain't me because I'm at work.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
I mean, just so
second. But what he was sharing is his cousin, his first cousin, and her husband, both police officers, right in New York, both have succumbed to the virus. So it's killing people. And what I was going to share before he came on was that Minnesota deaths were up to about 35. That was the last time I looked. I didn't look today. Somebody look and see what the death toll is up to in Minnesota right now. Now in Minnesota, the virus is not operating in this racial way that it is operating in some of these other cities. It looks like to me that the majority of the infected are Eurocentric, and
We're up to 79.
we're up to 79 now is the report. Well, and I mean, that's a big jump um, from when I looked at it. And so that's how it kind of exponentially begins to move up. Um, do you look at the racial composition, somebody, of the 79 deaths? I believe that's posted somewhere.
I'm gonna have to sift through it. Give me 1 second.
Karen, talk some more about, give us a picture about who your parents are. Tell us a little bit about their background so that we kind of connect to their journey a little bit.
Yeah, sure. So, my mum and dad are both from Barbados, in the Caribbean. My dad came here when he was 19, and my mum came when she was about 21 and 22. Back in those days, England used to send recruiters out to the Caribbean to fill the jobs that English people didn't want to do. So that
Right.
was generally to drive the buses and to be nurses. So there was like a mass immigration um, post Second World War in England from about 1947 right up until about 1990 of Caribbean workers, predominantly Barbados, Jamaica, and Trinidad were the three main areas. So they've lived in London ever since that, back
Wow.
and forth, but now they live back in Barbados. So they're currently here with me, which I'm very grateful for. So we're all here at the moment. Although ironically, it would be safer to be in Barbados because Barbados has only got 72 cases and 5 deaths. And they are doing so much good work to kind of try to eliminate it. They're doing contact tracing, they're isolating people. So they're actually being far more proactive than what we are being here.
Right.
So yeah, it's a very interesting time. But that's one thing I'm grateful that we're all here together at the moment. And I literally kind of just got back on time as well.
And your parents are citizens?
Yeah. So they're dual citizens of England and Barbados.
Okay.
As am I. So I'm dual citizen, and I plan to, as soon as this ends, to head back to Barbados for a little bit, and just get them settled over there and stuff,
Right.
and get out for a bit for sure.
Right. Well, I tell you what, you are missed here. There's no question about that. I know you and Miss Kara connected here at the office
We
and
did.
have
We
just
did.
putting up a powerful friendship. Now, I know Elizabeth is trying to get on from South Africa, and I'm wondering, Elizabeth, are you there?
75% of Minnesota's cases are Caucasian.
So you know what I mean.
Where
So,
they at?
so,
I can't see them.
now, what is the minority demographic minorities in Minnesota versus the?
Please insert media to continue.
And then we're trying to get Elizabeth on here so get in.
That's it.
Miss Elizabeth, you're there, but your microphone is muted. John Vang is on. John, man, we miss you, man. John, how are you?
I am hanging in there. Got me and my wife, we're both working from home, and our baby is running around causing chaos, but it's a beautiful thing to be home together, being able to have breakfast together, lunch and dinner together.
Right.
Yep. And yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to weather through this. But something that has been going on in my community, well, I should say our community, is that a lot of the
Please
Asian people
insert
here in
media to
Minnesota
continue.
are really concerned. Even like when my parents go out and my wife go out to run errands, we had to actually sit down and have a talk about what would we do if somebody came up to us with some racist stuff about this coronavirus, and how would we react and respond? And then in the online community, a lot of the Asian community has been pushing out this all these videos from the black community attacking those Asian folks in like Philly or San Francisco and stuff, and it's been creating a lot of like racial uh, frustrations between folks. But something that the people that I've been working with, we've been trying to promote is like, although this is some racist stuff that's happening to us, we can't be promoting this anti-black stuff within our own community too, because that's really what they're trying to do. Is the media is trying to drive
Insert
folks
media to continue.
against each other.
That John, that I had really no idea of that, but it also makes me think a bit about that big time advertising agency that got taken down in America here just a few years back, that was involved in creating those kinds of messages. No doubt, I don't see you at this point. Those kinds of messages and putting them out on Facebook, and then Facebook was then generating them and was creating division in these countries and even in America around the election. This is how the Russian controversy was about that. It was Russian money that was actually funding these advertisement, and what they really were trying to do, their goal was to keep us from voting and to try to win the election for the current president. And it was successful in some ways. And it sounds like that again, John, because I never heard any of that you just said, and it's painful to me to hear such a thing.
Cambridge Analytica was the
Cambridge
company.
Analytica. Rashad, that's good. And if you want to see who they are, you ought to look on Netflix, who did an expose on Cambridge Analytica. It's such a powerful expose, and you will see that it's the story they're telling is about what we're talking about right now, John. I want you to watch that. Netflix has a documentary on that agency that just changed its name. It's still operating, but now the name, we don't know the new name. Cambridge Analytica was the old name. Take a look at that. Karen, had you heard of them? Karen.
Yeah. It's really funny. So they actually used to do research for the Metropolitan Police in London,
Wow.
back in the early, I would say, late 90s, early 2000s. So they used to be the company that most like public sector and government agencies would use to gather their statistics.
Absolutely.
So they've been around for a long time.
Absolutely. So, John, beware of that. But, I just want to say to John, man, it's so good for me to hear your voice, man. I miss you, man. And I'm glad to hear your voice, and I'm glad that you and your family are well, and that your jobs are jobs that allow you to work from home and keep your finances flowing. That's a really challenging thing at this time, and so we're grateful for that. And I would, that really hurts me to hear any of that. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
and but certainly in these areas where the virus has hit hard are also these big voting hubs, right? South Central LA, New York, Michigan is a swing state, Louisiana. These are places where I'm just saying that Republicans want to win these states, and I mean to cause all this confusion and this animosity amongst ourselves. It can't be beneficial for us at all. You know what I mean? Um, I would challenge anybody listening to go and look at uh, former President Obama's nomination speech of Joe Biden. I mean, it is poetic, intellectual prose, and soulful all at the same time. You got to look at it. I want to see if we got Elizabeth on now. Is she there?
What's that?
A little bit of blood.
From what?
My vagina.
Rashad, we
Are you for
picking
real?
up this conversation.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's my girlfriend's birthday, so I'm trying to.
Abby, can you bring her in?
Yeah, hold on one second.
Okay, this is Abby. Abby is pregnant and having their second baby for them, for Abby and first for Rashad. It's her birthday. How old is she, Rashad? Abby, can you see us? Hey, how you look at that big pretty smile? Give her a big hand clap. Happy birthday. Yeah, we would sing this song, but we're having a little discussion on today that the song maybe don't necessarily fit today, but we love you anyway, and we hope you're doing well.
I share a birthday with you, except mine was yesterday.
Anania's birthday's the same as you.
Yesterday.
Oh wow!
Hey, go ahead, Ananias. Happy birthday.
Wow, beautiful. So in the midst of all of this, there's a lot of good news, and we're going to keep on working. But I think what we got to come out away from this discussion with is all being a little more safe, and I'm talking really to myself. I could be a little more safe than I've been. I just
We can't hear you, Pops. We can't hear you.
Can't hear a thing.
Nope.
okay. I should be back right there.
You back?
Donald, bless your heart, you have muted everybody, baby.
Hey, fire.
You north side of you done cut everybody. What float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. Well, I was saying Donald's wife has made masks for purchase, and so if you want to buy a mask, get with Donald. I'm gonna give Donald a chance to say his number later, but I just want to, Ananiah, what you got? Are you being safe? What's happening with you?
I am considered an essential worker. I build the equipment that the health industry needs to do the things that they do to try to fight off this COVID-19. I'm being protective. In my mask, I keep it with me at all times. I got sanitizer in the car. Yeah. We've been working overtime, like it's nothing else.
Wow.
And so it's I've been just work.
Wow, that's beautiful, man.
It's okay with me.
Absolutely, man. Get that boy some love right there. That's beautiful testimony.
Thank you.
Sherrod, come in there, man. Give us an update on what you're doing.
Well, still working, still wearing a mask.
You wearing that mask?
Yeah. Um, you know, Man, it's real crazy out here. I had a question for
Karen.
Yeah, Miss Karen from London.
Go ahead.
How is the COVID as far as the stay at home? Is like, if they really actually like keeping people off the streets and they can't go get essential things, or how does that work down there?
Yeah, so you are, if you're caught in a group, they are actually kind of like breaking you up. So the police are going around, kind of breaking you up, asking you why you're out. If it's obvious why you're going out, so if you're clearly coming back with shopping bags, it's okay. But if you're just like standing around or stuff, police are breaking you out and sending you home, and they're going to start to issue fines now, because the last two days have been really nice weather here. So people have been going down to trying to go to parks and stuff and hanging out together. So they're taking it to the next step. So we're supposed to only go out to get essentials, for exercise once a day, and for any medical reasons. So what they're thinking of doing is stopping the exercise once a day. People are just kind of like doing their own thing. So they're really kind of clamping down on it, especially now that we're kind of getting to the peak. Or because our deaths were literally, a few thousand. Now we're just under 13,000. So yeah, they're going to clamp down very,
Wow.
very soon.
Wow.
I think they really just started cracking down here really on it. They've been kind of lenient, but right now it's like it's getting real bad. Like they really been pulling a lot of people over.
Is that right?
Really? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
they've been really getting down. So
Wow.
Yeah.
like you said,
I haven't seen that yet, but before you got on, Sharon, I talked about West Broadway. You know where the crew is up here, man. They up there like fat meat ain't greasy. They still doing their thing.
yeah,
Um,
they gas station pimping up there.
yeah, right. Yes, absolutely. Well, I just want to any word from Elizabeth there. Okay. I think the time difference is one problem. Do we have Herbert Kelly on? Herbert Kelly, one of our lifer sons, is has got an interstate transfer, and he's down in Louisiana now. So I wanted him to give us a report of what's going on in Louisiana. What I'm gonna try to do is call him, and then see if I can put my phone on speaker. Let me see.
Hey.
Yeah.
I just got a film from somebody saying that the FBI just arrested the scientist that was behind the corona.
That's an old video, but that's important. Now, Miss Elizabeth, is that you?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, this is her, Miss Elizabeth, calling from South Africa. I have her on my phone, and so Elizabeth, we just had a report from Karen up there in London, and unfortunately, the report is not good about loss of life. Has been heavy there, and I can just feel the sister's heart is burdened quite a bit.
The hell is that?
Yeah. Hello. So go ahead. You're on.
Good evening, everybody. Yes, I think we are all making sense of what's happening, in the world with this COVID-19. And so here back home in South Africa, some of the latest is that we have a total of 2,415 cases, that has been tested positive, and 27 deaths. The situation in our local communities is really dire. I live in the Western Cape, which is like really the most southern tip of Africa and South Africa. And what we are sitting with, although on the national government, I think our president, our health minister, They've been extraordinary in terms of the kind of leadership, very decisive leadership, lockdown. We had lockdown from the 26th of March, and it has been extended until the end of April. And so I think, in some ways, with the reports that's going on, it feels like, we as South Africa, because we've locked down quite quickly, we somehow have contained, the virus in one form or another. And it really only means that, as the Minister of Health has said, we've basically bought some time. We've got about, say, 4 to 6 weeks.
Right.
Now that everything is locked down, nobody can come into the country. All the borders are closed. Now it's a matter of testing, and really, really going into the vulnerable communities. And so I think on a national level, our government seems to provide incredible leadership, real calm, centered, steady, at least, in the public eye. And so it's been amazing to see our President, Cyril Ramaphosa, and the Health Minister consistently, on the television, giving reports and bringing the public, into the picture. Last night we had one of the senior professors, health professors, giving quite a detailed report, literally systematically giving a presentation to the country.
That's beautiful.
And so I think the more there's information, there's, the saying that knowledge, you will know the truth, and the truth sets you free. You know the truth by the way it feels.
Right.
There's so much going on in the world. There's so much information, but there's something about when information comes that brings light, and when you have a sense that there's truth, it settles somehow. And so, like I said, on a national level, I think, the leadership is doing well. We will see in the next couple of weeks what's going to happen. Unfortunately, the province in which I live, in the Western Cape, it's still sort of run by the old apartheid, or remnants of the old apartheid government. And so what we've clearly seen, unfortunately, here is a complete disconnect, at least in the public eye. I don't know what this provincial government is doing, but there hasn't been any, sort of reports on televisions. I think they're using social media network, which really, although there's many people that have access to that, but the poorest of the poor people do not have access to phones and data and internet to be able to know exactly what's going on. And so what we've seen here is almost what is happening in apartheid. What they've been doing, they've gathered all the homeless people that's in the city, in some of the previously white areas, and they've literally brought them to this specific community where I live in Strandfontein, and they've literally dumped those people, here. And so, and because since the lockdown, the president had released or commanded the South African Defence Force to support the South African police to enforce the regulations of the lockdown. So you see the army, also the soldiers also. Unfortunately, there's been some clashes between the people and sometimes the police and some of the members of the army. Just yesterday we had heard a report of, how one of the people, one of the men was really beaten up and killed by by the army. And so there's pockets of craziness that's going on because in some of, especially the poor communities, people do not take, this pandemic seriously. And it could be a combination of things. We've lived, in poverty for so long, and it's almost like, what do we have to be afraid of?
Right.
What is different?
Right.
And so there's that disconnect on some level, and some people have even said that we've been, even post-apartheid, even in our democracy, the new democratic government has literally, when it comes to housing and land issues, they haven't done much.
Right.
They've done a lot, but in many ways, they've just continued to implement the old apartheid infrastructures when it comes to housing. And so densely populated communities, how do we self-isolate? How do we keep social distancing? And so there's a lot that's going on, like I say, on a national scale. There's leadership, the particular province where I live. I mean, I cannot tell you what is the specific plan,
right,
because our provincial government is literally not giving any information that is accessible. I haven't seen them on television. I wrote to the premier of this province and said, when are you going to appear on TV? When are you going to have a press conference to give guidance to the people here in the Western Cape? So what we find is that the previously white areas, they fairly, covered really, but it's the everybody else,
right,
black people on the Cape Flats. The Cape Flats is like the projects in the US.
right.
And then you have the shanty towns, the informal settlements, the townships.
Mm-hmm.
So those of us on this side of the railway line, because in apartheid they separated the whites from the people of color through railway lines.
Right.
So those of us on this side of the railway line, people are scrambling. There's incredible work that's going on by community leaders. They feed the people. There's different things. So it's a mixture. It's a mixture of things that's going on.
Right. Well, Elizabeth, let me hold you right there for 1 second. Is there anybody that wants to ask Miss Elizabeth a question? I hope you're hearing her well enough. And again, I'm just going to say I appreciate Wayne and trying to help facilitate all of these different connections. And for whatever reason, she wasn't able to get on traditionally. So I just had to go ahead and call her and put her on speakerphone and then use it that way. But somehow it's still coming through. So thank you, Elizabeth, for being available to us. And then if anybody has a question or a comment for our sister, would you go ahead and ask it?
For me here, what's been very interesting is we've been getting news from all over the world. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we've been getting news from all over the world, and we've had reports from South Africa, but they haven't focused on anything that Elizabeth has been saying. The only focus is around the rival gangs in the township actually coming together now to work together to kind of like get food and help people throughout this crisis. So for me, it's very interesting to hear from this perspective because that's not what's getting reflected through the BBC.
And so what Karen was saying was that the only news that she's gotten from South Africa was that the rival gangs there had been coming together to respond in some ways collectively to the virus.
Yeah, that's a very interesting interesting dynamic. My sister Jackie, she actually works for a micro, an organization that works with the gangs and so forth. And I think that is also what is happening.
Right.
You know, just a couple of months before the virus, in fact, last year, we've had so much gang violence and shootings, you know, all over the place. And so, in some of our towns. And so, what we've seen now is that, you know, there is sort of that is happening in some of those communities because, again, these specific communities that BBC have reported on about the gangs that are feeding the people are the specific communities that there's absolutely no guidance from the provincial government as to where people will get food, you know, how people are getting the necessary help. And so this is you know, this is quite a phenomenon that we are seeing where the gangs are organized and are providing food for the people.
Wow.
However, we can see what that means going forward. You know, because
Absolutely. Well, I mean, well, what that does suggest in terms of the gangs, if that's true, you know, that they're beginning to see each other as allies versus anything else, because the disease will do what the disease is designed to do. And I mean, we're in London, your numbers are they're spooky.
Yeah.
And the numbers Karen cited when she first came on, sister, that the loss of life in London was up over 12,000 people. Somebody look up, Rashad, if you're still there, look up the number of loss of life, Will, in New York City.
Okay. Well,
yeah, I think,
it is really bad.
yeah, I think they're over 20,000 now.
In New York?
Yeah, I think so.
20,000 in New York, 20,000, you all.
Yeah. They might even be over that now.
And that we're talking about New York City, but I mean New York State as a whole, and then all down New Jersey, Baltimore, Philadelphia, all of those guys are struggling.
Yeah.
And so in sister, even some of the people that you visited while you were here in Minneapolis on your last visit, which seems like it was so long ago in a way because of all the things that have taken place. But down south, we got a couple of people down there who have been hit so hard. Out on in Washington State, in California, people have been hit hard. Maybe the gang affiliations in California might take a page out of the South African book. But what I'm hoping when John shared is maybe in some ways it sounds like, John, we're having the opposite effect, that we're blaming each other for some stuff.
Yeah.
John, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. And so, you know, and I do, I don't know, and give us a quick report on Calum. That's Miss Elizabeth's son, who you know many of us know and have some love for him. What is going on with your son, and how is he doing?
Salem is really doing well. We had registered him into college. So we just want to say thank you very much for all the love and the support. So he's, in many ways, he's been in isolation and social distancing for a long time. You know how young people are in his room, in his studio.
Right.
And so he's always been working, you know, on his music and stuff. So he started college at the beginning of this year, and since the lockdown, obviously everybody, you know, has to be home, except for the essential services folk. So he started with these online classes.
Okay.
About 3 weeks ago. So he's doing well. He's doing well.
Good to hear.
We think about you. We miss you. We love you.
Oh, thank you.
We appreciate the work that you continue other
Yes, right.
during this time.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, listen, we know that it's late there. What time is it in your neck of the woods?
It's just after 2 a.m.
Well, so I want y'all to give her a big round of applause for staying up so late and so she could give us a talk and everything and give us some wisdom. Sister, we love you so much. And we miss you and I want you to get some rest. Send Kayla my love.
Yes, I will. And I'm going to really try and see, if I can figure this downloading this link and app, and hopefully at some point over the next couple of weeks, we can still see if I, can see you all.
Absolutely.
But lots of love, lots of thanks to you. Thank you, Brother Shane.
Amen.
To you and Dr. Werner for all the work that you all are doing.
Amen.
We appreciate it. We feel the love. And we will emerge. You're absolutely right. This virus will do what it came to do, and we will emerge.
Amen.
We will emerge, and where we live, there's no place for fear.
Yeah.
We keep moving towards the light. We hold on to truth, and we do what we must so that we can be here, hopefully, once all of this is gone.
That's right. When you later when you get a minute, play the gospel song "We Fall Down But We Get Up" by Donnie McClurkin. I'm talking to everybody. Play that song when you get off of the line of this meeting. Play that song for yourself and just see what you got. Sister, we're gonna let you go now. We send you a lot of love and we'll see you soon.
Okay, lots of love. Thank you very much for the connection.
And give her a pop girl on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Pop girl.
All right.
Take care.
Love you. There you go. Well, hey, you guys, go ahead, Will.
Hey, I got access to all the numbers from all the states. So, and the deaths, and New York alone has almost, not quite, but almost make up half the deaths in the entire United States.
Wow.
So they got over 10,000 coming out of New York alone, right?
Right.
The total death toll is 26,000, and give or take 5 or 6 counting. You know what I'm saying? And so New York is really, really going through it. That's why every time you look around, Governor Cuomo is on the news. You know what I'm saying? He always got some big news conference or something because he's under a lot of pressure.
Absolutely.
In that state.
And I feel his pressure, to be honest with you, Will, because I understand what it is to have the responsibility of other people's lives in some way as a part of your everyday purview. I get that, and I think that he's trying to do his best with what he has to work with. What I will say, and by way of encouragement, is that Governor Cuomo put out a call for all retired nurses or retired healthcare workers. They got 82,000 responses from not only retired folk, but also folks who volunteered to go to New York to help. And I think that response is astronomical, and it is frontline stuff. And so, we all have to do better. Starting with me, I have to do better about protecting myself and protecting my family. If I don't wear a mask, they won't. And currently, we're not wearing it. We have the mask. Donald came by and dropped some masks off. We're still not wearing them. Somebody else jump in who hadn't. Bradley, what you got? Can't hear you.
We talked about being safe, and that's going on. We had our meeting with bridging yesterday.
How'd that go?
Excuse me, this morning, and we have another one tomorrow. We're actually putting ramp-up plans in place to go back on the 4th of May.
Okay.
We're not sure of that, but there's a lot of protocol that all of the different team members are involved in writing right now, so that when we do open the doors, we're expecting an influx of stuff coming in because our donors and people are saying, when can I bring all my stuff to you?
Right.
So from a work perspective, we're all kind of gearing up towards the 4th, and we'll find out more. And again, Monsees and I are both blessed because we've been compensated this whole time.
That's beautiful. Tony announced earlier, you didn't hear him. Some of y'all didn't. He got his old job back for demolition, which he was good at. When he stayed on that job, he liked it. So get your money on, man. Stay there long enough to get your bank together, and don't let nobody hurt your feelings quick. Get your paper first, and then we'll worry about your feelings later, so that you can go ahead and move and get where you need to get to your next level.
Okay, Pop.
I appreciate that.
Go ahead, Brad.
I just want to say, in the meeting today, I just let people know that I have a quarantine section set up in my storage unit. So if people drive by, just leave birthday gifts on the front porch in the morning. I'll just quarantine them for 3 days.
Oh, I see. Oh, and they'll be safe.
They'll be safe. I've got it all planned out.
Well, I tell you what, you're worthy of a birthday gift, but I tell you what, we might have to hold out until the quarantine's over, and then we'll bless you real good.
It's all good.
There you go. But happy birthday to all you, Ananiah. Ananiah, what you got? Go ahead.
Oh, I just, I didn't have anything. I was just nodding my head.
Look how he looked. That's what he was doing. Nodding his head.
Really, to be safe.
That's right.
This is really serious. I know sometimes we get kind of relaxed and everything, and in our routines and everything, but I know this thing is very serious.
Yeah.
I know it's very serious. You know what I mean? So
right.
I'm trying to keep my immune system strong by eating oranges every day, drinking tea. I'm staying away from sugar. I'm eating lots of vegetables and drinking nothing but water.
Right.
So it's like I'm doing everything to keep my body strong,
and
because I know I'm coming past people that have been touched with it.
Wow.
I know I am, even with the mask on and everything. It's not 100%.
No, that's powerful stuff you're saying.
You guys, you have to realize you are going past people who have been near people who have been affected themselves. So just really, really be conscious of it and be safe.
Well, man, that's a good word. Go ahead, Will.
So Pop, so look, so now I think, all right, when I go out, I wear a mask, man, because not so much that I'm worried about myself on the job. I go into senior buildings where older folks at, and what we got to realize is that even if we have it and we're not displaying symptoms, that if we give it to somebody else or older person or something like that, their body may not respond to it the way ours had, right? It may have a devastating impact on them, right?
Yeah.
So I got aunts and cousins who, 60, 50, whatever. So I don't want to have something on me and not know it because I'm not just playing simple. And then I'm going around them, and then I give it to them, and then they have a total different response to it.
Right.
It takes them on up out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's what I would say about that.
And I think that's a better way to look at it. I like that analysis, because you don't want. I would never want to be, harmful to somebody else. And Eric, what you got?
You go get my yoga book.
No. So let me tell y'all something about Eric. Eric's mom's birthday was just the last week or something, a few days ago. She's 81. And so Eric and his sisters, they organized a parade in front of his mom's house. And I heard it was a pretty big parade, and that they had a police escort go in front of her house, and then they was dropping cards and gifts off, in a little yellow bucket, for her. And she's a real sweet lady. And Eric sent me a couple pictures. I missed the parade, and I was so angry with myself. Normally, I check my text messages all the time. For some reason, I missed the message, and I ended up calling her, and we had a real nice phone call. But Eric, just talk quickly about what you're thinking and about your mom. Your mic got turned off somehow. Huh? Somehow Donald was turning off everybody tonight. I don't know how he's doing. John, you there?
I'm right here. I'm right here.
Okay, and I think my sister got on off of there. Rashad, you there? Okay. Well, listen, what we're gonna do. What I wanted to share this point.
Yeah, I'm right here. I'm right here.
Okay.
I just had to run to the other room for a second.
Okay, I just want to share this point. My wife was saying to me the other night.
Is that all you need?
That Verizon is one of the corporate players in the 5G world. They're the biggest provider, certainly in America. China has their own super providers, but the hypothesis is that these major companies, I mean, Amazon, uh, Google, these companies are so big that they're bigger than government. You get it? So they become so big that government is doing business with them. Oh, the tech lady got her mask on now. Sis, you back? Okay, we still can't hear. Well, anyway, her point, now let me make this point and then I'm gonna go to Rashad. Her point was that for big business, the new money is not in real estate and land like it used to be. The new money in this new market is in
Thank you.
information technology. And that in information technology, this 5G being the wave of the future, that those people who are in right now are what was the very beginnings of it, will ultimately become these controllers of everything and the artificial intelligence that goes along with it. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to talk a little bit about some of the things that are taking place.
I'm mad that
Um,
Benihana's ain't sending me no motherfucking
somebody got that woman talking in the background. Excuse me, but Karen, I'm gonna go to you.
Hey, that was Abby talking about Benihana's for her birthday. Sorry.
Oh. She don't want to talk about the virus. She want to go to Benihana's, right?
Somebody hungry.
I know. Look, take that girl somewhere, man. What is wrong with you? But hey, you got to get Benihana's on a takeout, right?
Yeah, no. I mean, we called them. We called them. They said you're supposed to get. We thought we were supposed to get it free on her birthday. I asked her if she want me to go out there. She said I'll go when the baby's asleep because she don't want to share nothing. So.
Okay. Oh, bless her heart.
Oh God.
Get her what she needs.
She's good. I ain't mad at it. I don't want to share either. Like,
Miss Karen, we want to go back to you, and is anything you want to leave with us on this session? First of all, is thank you for coming and being on with
No
us. It's great
problem.
to see your face and great to hear your voice. You don't. I mean, I don't know if you understand that you have carved out a space here in the Twin Cities for yourself in our bosom. And I mean, we can
Thank
feel the
you.
absence. We can feel that. So it's helpful for us to be able to sit there and look upside your head and see you
Yes.
and talk with you. And so, you got anything to share with us before we end this meeting?
Yeah, just thank you, and it's great to see everyone, and I'm just glad that everyone's safe. And yeah, just to stress what you said, it doesn't feel as real to you guys yet because you're still in the kind of early stages. But whatever this is, whether it's 5G, whether it's a virus, if it's man-made, if it's not, it's taken people's lives. So the best thing that we can do, exactly what Ananias said, is build our immune systems. I'm doing exactly the same as you. I'm taking my vitamin C, but I'm taking it in powder form because it's a lot more potent. And actually, what they did in Wuhan, and it was a study to actually help some patients, they were giving them intravenous vitamin C on a larger dose. So if you can get hold of some powdered vitamin C, do that, take that every day, double dosing it, and just build your immune system, eat right, cut out all the mucus forming foods, because that's what kind of clogs up if you do get the virus. And you just got to protect yourself from a holistic perspective, because we don't know what they're telling us from what they're not. So we just got to take personal responsibility for our own health.
And that's really the bottom line message. I think you're absolutely right, and both you and I make an excellent point. The immune system is the place where we take personal responsibility.
Yeah.
And if you're in Walmart or wherever you go, they sell 1,000 milligrams C and D mixed in a powder. And if you put that in a glass, you can drink that. It's either hot or cold. It's actually tasty, and the vitamin C rush is huge. So you put 2,000 milligrams in your system right away. It does strengthen your immune system, and that is something that we have control over. So listen, we are going to ease out of here tonight. You got the pledge for me there, son? We're going to get out of here tonight and let everybody get back, but we miss y'all and love you, and it's just good to see your faces, and we really need to have more people. I'm a little disappointed. We had, how many people we got on tonight, Wayne?
10.
23 people on. That's
Oh,
that's a lot, but we should be up at 40, 45 people per meeting, and that's what I'm shooting for. So next week you're going to receive a call from us on Monday, reminding you to be ready on Tuesday for our phone call. We want to get everybody on board. Rashad, you got a parting message? Anything you want to say?
I mean, I love y'all. I think most of what I would say has been said already. Just continue to be safe and take care of yourselves. And like my man said, we got to really take this thing serious. I think that we've been able to kind of float around in la la land. You know, my generation especially hasn't really seen anything like this before. But this chemical warfare, this biological warfare stuff is as old as when they gave the Native Americans or indigenous peoples smallpox infested blankets. You know what I'm saying? We've been dealing with it since then. This is exactly the exact same thing. You know what I'm saying? So this we got to be smart. And I've also been seeing I have a lot of friends and family in New York too, who are dealing with this, and you know, a lot of them are still going out and kicking it and just treating it like it's days off. You know what I mean? Just, oh, we're gonna have a party today. You can't do that. You know, so just continue to be safe, man. You guys are my prayers.
Thank you, brother.
All right,
Rhea,
Pop
are
down.
you on there, sis?
Yes, I am.
Oh, good. You sound good too. What would be your thoughts in party?
Well, when I first found out about it, I was treated very lightly. But since I've been able to be on my tablet and doing research, I see that this isn't nothing to play with. And you know, if you have things like me with my asthma and my all that, I have things wrong with me besides this that I'm more likely to be susceptible to it. So I am doing the things I need to do now. At first, I was taking it lightly, but now I see that this is a very, very powerful thing that's happening, and we all got to be smart.
Right. Well, listen, sis, thank you so much. And the tech lady that's helping you, tell her thank her, because she got your speaker on real clear now. We can hear you so nicely, and that's a beautiful thing. We'll see you soon. Eric, are you there?
Hello?
We can't hear you. You got your microphone turned off, Eric.
Oh,
Um,
can you hear me?
Will, you got a closing thought?
Okay, I just unmuted my mic since I wasn't talking. I had it unmuted. Now, it's it's a blessing that you know what? I tell you. So I've been spending a lot of time in the house, right? You know, a lot of time Mari helping her with her homework, and we be eating, breakfast, lunch, and all that stuff together, like what Bane was saying, John was saying. it's crazy how out of something so simple, it's actually causing folks to kind of do more of things that we should have been doing prior to. You know what I'm saying?
Wow,
Spending more time with family, having more conversations, being around our kids, trying to stay connected. Just cleaning up the house. So many things that really should be priorities anyway. Seem to take on that importance. You know what I'm saying? Once again, you know what I'm saying?
Right, and that's a great point. And John made it earlier. And John, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
John, do you have a parting comment for the group?
Yeah, I think that this is a hard time for everybody because, like, for us that have been incarcerated, and for some of us who've been in the whole solitary confinement,
Right.
This brings back some of that trauma, and also we know how to function in these small, tight spaces, and keep our minds active, right?
Yeah.
But for a lot of our other family members who haven't really gone through this, they are, bouncing off the walls.
Right.
And I think it's us who have a little bit of insight about creative things to do during these times, is to share and lead our families in that way and help them cope with all this.
John, that's a great point. And I hope that Noah is doing all right. Send him our regard. And Tang Tao, we're thinking about him too. Let him know if you talk to him. We're very proud of you and Ma and Zoe and you guys. The news that you shared with me is so distressing, and I'm just going to read some more about that. I just am troubled by it, but we love you, and I think that's a good word. Eric, are you there yet?
Eric left.
Sherrod, what you got?
Well, like I said, like your son was saying, being able to spend time with the family and the kids. And I feel like I said it before that out of everything bad, it's always something good. So, we going through trying times right now, but it's a messed up situation for everybody. But at the same time, there's also something good coming out of everything bad. I just want everybody to stay safe.
Yeah.
So we can meet back up and get everything together. And if Pat is on, tell him to come get these shirts.
Pat, are you there? Yeah, I'm gonna have somebody call him right now. Call Pat right now and have him call Rashad. You got his number. Call him up. Yeah, Pat, we gotta ring his bell sometime. You know that. Let's see, Tony. You got a parting comment for us?
Well, man, for you, Shane, as they state, once you chop off the head, the body fall. We need you to wear that mask, brother. You are our head, so we need you to be safe, brother. That's out of love.
Wow, thank you, man. I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna get my mask out of the trunk. It's been right around Sherrod.
Please.
My mask is safe, I'm the one that's not. I got to do better.
Yeah.
We're gonna read the pledge now. You guys who are here with me, when you read, delay just a minute so that it doesn't throw everybody off. We're gonna pledge out of here together. And yeah.
I just wanted to say one more thing that I heard. I'm not sure if everybody knows about this, but apparently the virus, when you do contract it, it sits in your throat for a while before it spreads to the rest of your body. So they said drinking hot tea has been some of the things that help people recover. And even though we've seen a lot of deaths, the number of recoveries is still far greater than the amount of people who have died. So I don't want you guys to feel too helpless, like we just walking around, in World War IV, you know what I'm saying, against this virus. Like, the thing is very beatable. So don't let it beat your mind, and it certainly won't beat your body. All right.
Thank you, bro.
Oh, that's good. All right. Well, listen here. Where we go with the pledge? I will
I
I
will
will
balance my family values
balance my family values
with my goals.
with my goals.
I will
I will
wear my mask
Wear
wear
my
my
mask
mask
and quit playing.
and quit
with
playing.
That's me. And I will exercise wisdom
I will exercise
wisdom,
what I choose to eat,
what I
what I
choose
choose
to
to
eat,
eat,
read,
read,
and do.
and
and do.
I will
I
I
will
will
strive to make all relationships
strive to
strive to
make
make
all
all relationships
relationships
win-win,
win-win
no deal.
win-win,
or
no
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 deal.
deal.
No deal.
I will,
I
I
I
will,
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 under every circumstance,
under
under every
every
under every
circumstance,
circumstance,
maintain a positive attitude.
maintain
maintain
a
a
maintain a
positive
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 attitude.
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 I will
I will
I will
enjoy life
enjoy
Enjoy
life
enjoy
with a
life
sense of humor
with a
with a
with a
sense of
sense of
sense
humor
humor
of humor
while taking advantage of opportunities
while
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 taking
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 advantage
advantage
of
of
advantage of
opportunity
opportunities
opportunities
and learning from my misfortune.
and
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 learning
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 from
from
my
my
from my
misfortune.
misfortune.
misfortunes.
I will
I
I
will
will
I will
act upon circumstances
act
act
upon
upon
exercise
circumstances
circumstances
rather than have them act upon me.
rather
rather
than
than
having
rather
them
than
Then
have
have
them
them
act
upon
upon
me.
me.
for me.
I will
I
I
will
will
I will
on a daily basis
on
on
a
a
on a
daily
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 basis
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 put on my mask.
put on my
put on my
mask.
mask.
That's right.
I will
I
I
I
will
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 always protect my wisdom,
always
always
protect my
always
protect
protect my
wisdom,
my
wisdom,
wisdom
my health,
my
my
health,
health,
and
and my happiness.
and
and
my
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 happiness.
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 I will
I
I
I
will
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 stay principle centered
stay
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 principle
principle
centered
centered
and maintain a positive circle of influence.
and
and
maintain a
maintain
maintain
a
a
positive
positive
circle of
positive
circle of
circle of
influence.
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 I will
I
I
I
will
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 I will.
daily learn,
daily
daily
learn,
learn,
daily learn,
commit,
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 and do.
and
and
do.
do.
I will
I
I
I
will
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 act according to the POP Leadership Institute
act
act
according
act
to the
according
according
to
to
POP
the
the
POP
Leader
Leadership
Institute
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 and be productive in my community
and
and
be
and be
be
productive
productive
in
in
my
my
productive in my
community
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 and my private life.
and my
and my
and my
private
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 life.
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 Yeah, I just want to say, look, man, I love you all. I want everybody to stay safe until next week. We're taking this thing one week at a time. We can win it. We some bad mammoth jammers, and we can get this thing done. It's great to hear your voices. I got nothing but love for you. I see you next week.
Oh well. Put your
Love you.
mask on, say. Wear your mask,